My name is Slava Appel. You can call me Slava. Today, we're going to be discussing a path to Canada. Your representative invited you to this call because they're thinking that this could be a right path for you. For those of you that are on your phone, I'll recommend turn your phone sideways. We're going to go through some of the PowerPoint slides. So this one, you are going to be able to see the PowerPoints better. For those of you that have questions, you can type in the questions. There is a chat option that is available. Typically, by the end of our presentation, I would have covered a lot of the information enough to answer all of the questions. But meanwhile, if something does pop up, if you can think of something, feel free to type it in. I'll ask all of you to keep your microphones on mute, so this way we don't have any extra noises during this. But at the very end, I will leave time for questions. Hopefully most of them are typed, so this way the rest of the people can see them as well. And your representative will follow up with you afterwards to make sure that any other or any unanswered questions we can cover as well. So I will start off by sharing my screen. So again, for those of you that are on mobile phones, turn it sideways. You're going to be able to see a lot more of what we are discussing. And today we are discussing a path to Canada utilizing startup visa. Startup visa is a very particular path. So whoever just joined us, please mute your phones. So this way we don't have any interruptions. So startup visa is a very particular path to Canada. Specifically, it is meant for people that are planning to open up a company in Canada that is innovative. Now, you don't have to own a company in advance. You don't have to have it ready. We can help you with all of the document preparation in order to qualify your business for the program. And when I say that, you will bring in innovation, you'll bring in an idea, and we'll help you with a lot of the documents. And we're going to cover what those are. To start off with our own position as Startup Visa, we are not an immigration agency. Your agent has introduced this to you here, so they'll be the ones that are giving you immigration advice. Our job is to make sure you fully understand how the Startup Visa as the path works. Also, we don't work directly with clients. We work only through immigration professionals. So please keep continuing contact with your agent, with your representative. They are going to be the ones that will take you through all of the proper procedures and processes. They'll be the ones that are collecting all of the documents that are required. So let's go through what is the path for Startup Visa. Startup Visa is a specific economic path to Canada. And when I say economic, it is meant for those people that are not looking to get a job in Canada. It is meant for people that are planning to open up a business in Canada. And because of that, your English level doesn't have to be as high as for those people that are planning to get a job. So for example, when we are looking at the Startup Visa as the program, the language requirement under Startup Visa is IELTS or CLB level just 5. And in comparison to many of the other paths to Canada, they are requiring 6 or 7 CLB or IELTS level. So it has an easier path for those people that don't speak perfect English. Now, there are a few other advantages of this particular path. One of the advantages, they removed the educational requirement. So meaning if you don't have a university degree, you are still applicable to this program. And there is no age requirement under this program as well. So there are a lot of other benefits over and above what it has to offer over other programs. And we're going to go through some of them as well. Another great advantage of this program is processing time. So when we're looking for Startup Visa as the path, when it comes to how fast you can get to Canada, this is a direct path for permanent residency. And as advertised on Government of Canada's website, permanent residency PR could be as quick as 12 months. And for that, if anyone has any questions about processing times, you can find it directly on the Government of Canada's website. This is where I am showing to you on screen right now. You can click on, in this case, economic immigration, select the path. So for example, if you wanted to go through, which is now PAUSE program Quebec investment or Quebec business class, and you can say that I haven't even applied yet, you can go through this. If you say Quebec business class, you can check the processing time. As you can see here, 65 months. Or if you say startup visa, and I haven't even applied yet, it's a very fast path of 12 to 16 months. So it has a lot of advantages that it is a faster path directly to permanent residency. And that's why a lot of people are interested about it. Now, Canada advertises this program, except not a lot of people know about it. So directly on Government of Canada's website, it says that Canada wants entrepreneurs. And because of that, it started up a program called Startup Visa. Under Startup Visa, they've even advertised it on billboards all over the world, saying that, yes, we have this program if you are entrepreneurial minded. And this particular billboard is seen all the way at Silicon Valley, in California, and even our previous immigration minister, 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒕, was at trade shows trying to persuade foreign entrepreneurs, investment-minded individuals, high net worth individuals, entrepreneur individuals to come to Canada and open up their businesses. And that is him posing in front of his own billboard. So this program is not a secret program. However, it is pretty difficult to go through without someone assisting you. And assistance comes in helping you getting a very important document. And the document is called Letter of Support. Letter of Support, and this is what it looks like. It is a 2-page PDF document that is given to you and to your business by something called a designated organization. And I will go through what designated organizations are. Meaning it's someone that has vetted your business idea and they're willing to stand behind it as the proof that they will support your business idea. Now, you don't have to have an active business yet. It is just that you're proposing to open up business here in Canada. And because of that, you get this faster processing time and lower entrance requirements because Canada wants entrepreneurs. So who are these designated organizations? The way it works, Government of Canada partnered up with industry professionals such as venture capital funds, angel investment groups, and business incubators. For short, they're calling them designated organizations or designated business organizations. It is those designated organizations that are issuing to you the letter of support. Now, list of designated organizations is seen directly through Government of Canada website. So for example, here it says that if you want to apply for Startup Visa program, here's the list of every designated organization, every venture capital fund, angel investment group, or a business incubator. So if you were to click, it'll give you the list. Except what it doesn't say is the process of how they would approve. And less than 1% of the people that apply directly get approved. And we're going to go through why, if you were to apply directly, the chances of approval are very, very low. So what they are looking for in each one of these designated organizations has a different requirement. In order for them to issue to you a letter of support, business incubators have to accept your business and yourself into their incubator. And again, less than 1% of people that apply get in, unless your business is really the idea, the write-up, the business plan, the website, everything is just the best of the best in order for them to approve. And they have thousands of people applying. So we can help you with this. And this is what we are doing. We're helping you to get into those organizations. And I'll explain our process of how we are doing that very shortly. The second placement where you can get your letter of support would be angel investment groups. Angel investment groups don't work with idea stage companies. They only work with mature companies that angel investors have to, at the minimum, invest $75,000. That's the requirement from government in order for them to prove to government that they like you and your business enough in order for them to issue you the letter of support. Now, once you have this letter of support, you can apply directly for permanent residency. And that's how important this document is. The third level, if you have a very large business, if you're bringing it here to Canada, not only mature, but profiting business, you can also apply to venture capital fund-based companies. They would have to invest at the minimum up to $200,000 into the business before they issue to you the letter of support. Now, the chances of receiving funding from angels or venture capital groups is very, very low. And I'll give you the actual statistics behind the scenes. So, for example, the program, 𝒅𝒂𝒉, it started for the first 5 years in a pilot stage. During the pilot stage, not a lot of approvals were happening, but let's talk about when it came out of the pilot stage. So by about 2017, there were 8,500 people applying for angel and venture capital funding, both in Canada and internationally. Out of them, only 1,200, so 1,200 of them got to presentation, about 450 got to funding, and about 40 of them received a letter of support. Now, this is supposed to scare you, to show you that it is not that easy to get the letter of support. Even if you were to go to an incubator route, so here's an example of one of the incubator groups, for about 3,000 applications that are going specifically for 𝒅𝒂𝒉 letter of support. Out of them, only about 30 get to the interview stage, about 15 get to become students of that incubator, and 12 get to graduate and get the letter of support. Again, very, very low numbers. Again, with such small numbers, people are wondering, how can you actually get through the program and get that letter of support? Well, here is a thing about our company. We have been in business doing 𝒅𝒂𝒉 for close to 5 years. And to this date, we have a 98% success rate of placing candidates in a designated organization, whether it is an incubator, angel group, or venture capital group. And later on, those people went on to be getting their permanent residency. So why is it that most of the world has such difficulties getting the letter of support, and yet we're providing 100% money back guarantee? We're providing very good confidence that we are able to achieve that letter of support for you. It all starts with, again, who are the entities that are issuing letter of support? And kind of I show to you this illustration that the letter of support is being given by business incubators, angel investment groups, and venture capital groups, and all of them are seen on the Government of Canada's website. So how do we help you? It all comes from where our team works. For example, in Canada, there are hundreds of business incubators. Out of them, only about 30 are designated by Government of Canada to issue the letter of support. I work in 5 of these incubators, so I know specifically and precisely how to position your business, how to prepare your business case to make sure that you get approved. When it comes to angel groups, there are 30 angel groups that are in Canada. Out of them, only 9 of them issue letter of support, meaning they're designated by Government of Canada, and I work with 5 of them. So I know specifically how to position your application. And very similarly with venture capital groups, I work with 2 venture capital groups. Those are the ones that are able to issue to you a letter of support. So I know how to prepare the entire business package, working together with your representative that invited you here. Your representative will create your immigration package, we will create your business package, and we will be providing to you business level guarantees that you are going to get to that letter of support. Now, typically I get a question, what are the designated organizations that I work with? So it is very simply provable. So we're going to go back to Government of Canada website. And here where it says find a designated organization, I can click on find a designated organization and I'll click on a few of the entities. For example, I'll click on a business incubator. There is a lot of incubators. I work with 5. I'll click into one of the larger ones that is associated with York University, which is Canada's 2nd largest university. And here under faculty, under instructors, you can see me right there that I work in one of the designated organizations. So I know specifically and precisely how to position and help you pass through all of the milestones that they require, because we have done hundreds of cases and all of them successful because we know exactly what they would want. Let me give you another example now. I will click instead of a business incubator, I'll click on an angel investment groups. Now there are 9 angel investment groups in Canada. I'll pick on one of the larger ones, even though I work with 5, I'll click on York Angel Investors. On the very bottom of their website, you'll be able to see my logo, Startup Visa Services, as you can see right above me as well. So not just seeing my logo, but let me show you something deeper. It says in order for you to receive an investment or a letter of support, you have to click, if you are Canadian, you have to click on Canadian Entrepreneur. And if you're an international person, you will click on International Entrepreneur Program. That's exactly what I'm going to click now. Once I click on this, it'll give you an explanation how to properly prepare the file, how to make sure that you are applicable and a proper person for this business. But there is one sentence that is very important. And now, for those of you that are on mobile phones, I'll zoom in here for you. And this is what the sentence says, that York Angel Investors works exclusively with Startup Visa Services, with us, with our group. That means we are the group that is responsible for all of the stages of getting your application approved. When we look back at what used to be that scary looking statistic of how many people get approved, our job is to make sure that we do all of the vetting and assessing, that we do all of the due diligence, we prepare all of the funding documents, and our team is the team that issues the letter of support to you. Let me repeat it again. We are the ones that are not only helping you and coaching you with all of your documents, we will make sure that they're properly vetted. And it's also our responsibility, once all of the documents are in order, to issue the letter of support. That means there's only 8 more people like me in entire Canada on an angel side that can issue that very important document, letter of support. Hopefully that gives you an understanding that when we give you the guarantees, and the guarantee is that we will properly prepare every piece of document, every portion of the website is going to get vetted, your business is going to get properly prepared so you can get that important document, and we're backing it up with a guarantee as well. And again, speak to your representative further about that. So what are the requirements in order for you to get in? I don't want to make it look like it's too easy, because not everyone qualifies. It all starts off with the top 3 prerequisites, such as English or French, CLB or IELTS level 5, sufficient settlement funds. Settlement funds are not required to be large, under $25,000 for a family of 4, medical and criminal clearance. So this is your admissibility as the person. Next thing comes admissibility of your business. Number one thing what this program is about is for you to bring an innovative startup to Canada. We help you define what that innovation is, showcase it, so this way you can get the important document, which is this letter of support, meaning with the support of the designated organization. This is the entire plan in a simplified way of how do you pass through all of the milestones. The deeper view of it, in order for you to pass through all the milestones, you as the founder, you have to be admissible, you have to have an intent to start a company in Canada and to operate it here in Canada, and you have to have relevant to that business experience. Meaning, if you're an engineer, you'll continue being in an engineering position. If you're in a medical field now, you'll continue being in a medical business. So it's going to be according to your background of who you are. The next step is for your business to be approved. So once you as the founder, that's approved. Next stage is for your business to be approved. So we have to prove with all of the proper documentation that your business is scalable, that you have sufficient business funds, you have a hiring plan, you have a full business plan, your business is needed here in Canada, that all, if you have multiple partners in a business, all of them are needed in that business, and mainly that your business is innovative. And we really concentrate a lot on that point. We want to prove to government of Canada that your business is innovative and that it has IP strategy. Once we prove there's over 30 different documents that we prepare and help you with. Once we prove that your business is innovative and all of the admissibility documents are in order, this is where that letter of support can happen. A typical question that I get at this point, well, how does it compare against other programs? Now, Canada has many different paths, so I will highlight for you just 3 other or 2 paths in comparison to Start a Visa. So let's compare Start a Visa versus Provincial Entrepreneur Program, and every province has their own minimum requirements, versus Quebec Investment Program that is now paused. For those of you that are not familiar with the Provincial Entrepreneur Program, every province, almost every province in Canada, has some kind of a provincial stream that will allow you to open up a business. For example, if you wanted to move to Yukon territories, the minimum requirement for you to buy or start a business will be a $300,000 investment, plus you have to lend with $500,000. British Columbia, minimum is $200,000 investment, plus $600,000 lending dollars as well. Plus you would need to hire 2 people. You'll need to work in a business for 2 to 3 years. It's actually a pretty complicated program. This is not what we're discussing here. We're discussing how can you be using the path of Start a Visa. And this is how we compare it. What do you need to invest in your business? So outside of your incubation fees, outside of your legal fees, consulting fees, on top of that, which is pretty much similar in every one of the programs, what are the additional investment dollars? In provincial, for example, average for Ontario, where I'm in Toronto, Ontario now, average investment you need to put in is $600,000, and you have to land with another $500,000. Under Quebec program, which is now paused, $1.2 billion investment, and you have to lend with additional $200. Now, let's pay attention to Start a Visa. It has no such requirements, meaning you don't have to show $1 million or spend a lot on your business. For example, investment requirement, whatever you think is right to spend in your business. So you have a large business, you would need to spend more. If you have a small business, you will need to spend less. Net worth requirement, very high under provincial and under Quebec, and very low net worth or settlement dollars under Start a Visa. Again, family of 4 under $25,000. Nature of investment, in Start a Visa, invest in your own business, whatever you want. It gives you a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility. That's why a lot of people like Start a Visa program versus, for example, in Quebec program, it's a 5-year passive investment. Type of business, under Start a Visa, you can open up any business as long as it is innovative. Under provincial, you have to create 2 jobs, and it's in a very specific category, only typically 3 categories per province that are permitted. So if you don't match that particular category, you won't qualify. In Quebec, it would be infrastructure. Let's take a look at other requirements. For example, language requirement, very low under Start a Visa, level CLB or IELTS level 5. Under provincial, much higher at 7. Plus, you also have to have management experience. You have to, under Quebec, have business experience. You have to have post-lending performance in other programs. And none of those are requirements under Start a Visa. Again, making it look like it's too good to be true. And yet you already saw it's not a simple process. Let's get to the best part. I'm sure a lot of you want to come to Canada fast. This is one of the faster ways to come to Canada because typical speed, we already saw on Government of Canada website, is 12 to 16 months as they are advertising to permanent residency, even though during the pandemic time it has slowed down. But comparing it to other advertised times from Government of Canada, 2 to 3 years for permanent residency under provincial entrepreneur program and 6 to 7 years under Quebec. So as you can see, Startup Visa yet again is the better choice for you to be considering. So again, speak to your representative who invited you here to make sure that it is proper for your family and for you. Another one of my favorite things is you can move anywhere in Canada. So whether you want to move to British Columbia, whether you want to move to Quebec or Ontario or Manitoba, well, Quebec has their own program, but every other province in Canada, you can utilize as your intended residence and you can move around. And yet, if you were to choose provincial entrepreneur program, you have to be very specific and stay in that particular province. For those of you that are over 45, 55, 60 years old, this program has no age restrictions, meaning you can be as young as 18 or as old as 80 and still apply under this program. Yet many of the other programs have age requirements. So overall, when we are looking at this program, it has a lot of advantages over and above others. Now, for those of you that are wondering, well, what are the actual timelines? I'll show it to you in this following way. Average letter of support. And this is the document that you need in order for you to apply for permanent residency. Average letter of support in Canada takes between 8 to 12 months. We are doing it much faster. Speak to your representatives. We have something called a fast track program for those people that are at idea stage, for you to get quickly incubated, to quickly go through the program. And you can go through this program in as quick as 3 months, which is the fastest time in Canada, all the way until letter of support. Now, in 80% of our cases, we're able to do that in 3 months. But in some cases, if it's more difficult, we can and are going 8 to 12 months as well. But again, majority of the cases, we're able to process very quickly. What happens after you get the letter of support? So here's your point of letter of support. What happens next? After that, you can apply for work visa, which takes only 2 to 3 months. Or you can skip the work visa if you don't need to start your business here right away. Wait in your country all the way until permanent residency is granted and then start your business, which you already saw on Government of Canada website, can take 12 to 16 months or slower during the pandemic time. But looking back at the work visa option, between 3 months for the letter of support and 2 to 3 months for work visa, you can be in a position to be here in Canada within 6 months if all the documents are in order. So it's one of the fastest paths to come to Canada, utilizing that economic path of migration. And again, speak to your representative to make sure they properly advise you based on your circumstance. Now, for those of you that don't need to be here this quickly, of course, you can wait for your permanent residency and then start up the business. So that's what's interesting about Startup Visa as the path. You don't need to start the business first to get your permanent residency. Other programs you do. In Startup Visa as the program, you can get your permanent residence first, which is an irrevocable permanent residence, and then start your business. Typical question I get at this point, how long do I need to perform? How long do I need to work in my business in order for me to keep my qualification of permanent residency? And the answer for that is directly on Government of Canada's website yet again. So I will take you directly there, and all of you can research and find this question online. And again, speak to your immigration representative that invited you here. But the question, and I'll zoom in again for those of you that are on cell phones, on mobile phones, and the question on Government of Canada's website states the following. The question is, if I immigrate through Startup Visa program, what happens if my business fails? Which is a very common question. How long do I need to keep that business going in order to keep my qualification? And the answer is, if your business fails, it does not impact your permanent residency status. This is an irrevocable permanent residency. That means after you land in Canada, you can do whatever you want with your business. You can sell it, you can work it, you can excel in it, you can stop it and wind it down. You can pause it. Whatever you do with your business does not impact your permanent residency, making it an irrevocable permanent residency program. Now, a lot of you will end up doing business and doing it well. And I know that those people that are going through incubation as the path, they have a much higher chance of succeeding in it because incubators provide a lot of support in mentorship in order for your business to grow. So let me tell you a little bit more about us as the company. I've already shown to you that we have participated with the designated organization, but a little bit more about who we are, Startup Visa Services. I opened it, and for those of you that joined late, we don't work directly with immigrating clients, which is yourself, majority of the people on this call. We don't work directly with you. We only work through immigration professionals as their assist, as their, think of it, back office, as their complementary service. So don't approach us directly, continue dealing directly with your immigration professionals. What do we do for them? Well, we are an award-winning business visa specialist. We do all the business documents, that's your business plans, projections, competitive research. In our background, even my own background, I'm an author, I've written 2 books, been on cover magazine, I teach at 3 universities. Typically people that came here before pandemic, we used to teach in person, and this is a graduating class where everyone here received their letter of support. You can see they're smiling, they're happy. Here are a few more of our classes. So before pandemic, all of the applicants would be taught in person. Right now, during the pandemic time, it all has moved online where all of the training and certification, usually a 2-week program, is done over Zoom. So the reason why I like in person better, during our graduations, we have a lot of dignitaries coming up. So you get a chance to meet, for example, here is at one of our graduations, Member of Parliament. So this is 𝒔𝒌𝒂𝒉 showing up to our graduation, telling kind of, hey, welcome to Canada. Yeah, you got your letter of support. You are now free to start your business. This is me receiving an award given to me by 𝒔𝒐𝒏'𝒕, which is Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Citizenship and Immigration, for making a world of difference in the lives of new Canadians. Also by Director General of Foreign Credentials. This is Canada's previous Immigration Minister, Ahmed Hussein, Toronto's Mayor, John Tory, and another Member of Parliament here as well, Peter Kent. So I like the in-person, but right now, of course, because of pandemic, all of the classes are being done online, which leads us to, what do we do for you? How do we work together with you, with your team? How do we make sure that you are properly going through all of the milestones? Well, we have a big map of what happens. Your immigration agent will introduce your profile to us, we'll review and assess, we will train you and coach you for the interview, we'll get you the interview time, we'll get you processed through an incubator, we're gonna get you that letter of support. So every step is properly documented so you will know what happens. But in simplified world, once you sign up with your immigration professional, we're gonna go through all of the ideation methodology to make sure we can identify where's that innovation in what you know, in what you do. We'll help you with that. We'll coach you for an interview. Once you pass the interview, we're gonna get you accepted into designated organization, and we're gonna get you through all the proper procedures, preparing all the documents, that letter of support. Our guarantee covers these 6 steps. After that, we'll pass your file to your immigration professionals who will apply for your permanent residency. And there's a huge success rate. Over 80% of those people that received the letter of support ended up getting their permanent residency. Typical question I get at this point, well, what happens if I get my letter of support? What could prevent me from getting the permanent residency? And it all comes back to your qualification. Qualification comes back to your English or French, your sufficient settlement funds, medical and criminal clearance. So these are the top reasons for rejection. So if you speak English or have certification of IELTS or CLB level 5 and above, sufficient settlement funds and medical and criminal clearance, you are at a very, very good position to receive your permanent residence as it comes to working in this system. Our guarantee comes with, we will work with your file, we'll coach you, we'll prepare the full business package, and that you will get the letter of support. The way that we work with it, so there's a lot of different documents. It is all depending on the stage of your business. So some of you on this call, you may already have a business. When I say have a business, have a product that is already developed. So you're at a product stage. Some of you are at idea stage. You have an idea what type of business you want to do in Canada. And some of you are already in a larger business that wants to open up affiliation or migrate here to Canada. Depending on the stage, and majority of the people that we deal with are at idea stage, meaning they don't have a business yet. They just know some kind of idea what they want to do here in Canada, some sort of innovation. At that point, we will work together with you to prove that your idea has merit. We are doing all the validation to make sure that we can prove to government that you can run business successfully here. And we would work, and typically we back up your idea with about 30 different proofs. I'll show you what they are very shortly. If you're at the product stage, there's about 20 different proofs that are needed. And if you have a mature company, about 10 different proofs. So what do we do for you? If you are at idea stage, we work with you with these 30 different processes: ideation, market research, competitive research, innovation. We work on your business plan, on your marketing plan. We do your website. We do all the communications with the designated organizations. So we are your assist. We are your consultants to make sure we properly package you. And that's where we're offering our 100% money back guarantee, meaning if we don't do a good job, we refund 100% of the funds. But that's not the goal. Not the goal to refund the money. The goal is for you to get that letter of support. So coming back to what we are doing for you, it is all based on the stage of business that you are in now. If you are at an early stage, we'll create about 30 different proofs: industry research and validations and projections. What is your intellectual property? So it is our job to assist you to make sure we can properly present you and get you that letter of support. And if you already have a mature business, less work, of course, is required because you already proved that you can do that business. I'm going to wind down this conversation very soon. I want to open it up for questions. We're almost at the 40-minute mark now. So prepare your questions if you have. Feel free to type them in. I'll make sure to answer all the questions here. The goal for us, we work together with your immigration team. We will do all of the business processing. We will make sure that you get that letter of support. What we are leaving for your immigration team is for them to finalize and later on file for your permanent residency with only one goal. We kind of work together with them. Our goal is to get your permanent residency approved. Our goal is to get your letter of support issued so all of us can welcome you to Canada. Then we'll help with all of the agent-based documentation. So I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to open this up right now for questions. I see a lot of you already starting to type them in. So let me start answering some questions. So someone is asking, I am an English teacher. Can I do this starter visa program? Can I apply under starter visa? So that's one of the questions. So I'm going to start taking in questions. So feel free to start typing them in. So answer is yes. There is a lot of innovation, especially lately because of COVID, of how people are teaching. So we have worked with a lot of teachers, with a lot of instructors on them starting in opening up training portals, mentorship portals, or different ways of helping to get in touch with their students. So using your teaching as the background, we will work together with you to identify what are you doing differently today? What can you propose to Canada based on your experience that is considered to be innovative? So we can write an entire business plan about your experience about that innovation. Okay, next question came in more anonymously, so it's not seen to everyone. It was sent directly to me. And the question is, what is the number one reason for a rejection? So the answer is, number one reason is actually top three reasons. It's either medical, it's either CLB language level 5, or not enough or not sufficient funds. So typically when we work with you, we don't see the rejections. We have over 98% success rate. We don't see any rejections because of the business plan or the letter of support. So next question, okay, let me answer is, I don't know how to write a business plan, from the same person as the teacher. Well, that's exactly what we do in our firm. And for those of you that are potentially here in Toronto now, I welcome you to come and visit our office. We have multiple business plan writers, engineers, software engineers, prototype people, PhDs, accountants. It is our job to help you with a business plan that will pass. Now, there are many different types of business plans. There are business plans that are good for banking, there are business plans that are good for marketing, and there are business plans that are specific to immigration. When you do a business plan for immigration, there are components that other types of business plans, they just don't have, like economic impact for Canada, your marketing and hiring plans. So there's a few things that are very specific to immigration in the business plan that we will work together with you. So for that person that says, I don't know how to write a business plan, we will help you. We have a team of people that does it. Next question is, so the question is, now the epidemic in Canada is very tense, will it affect application of startup visa? Answer is yes. Everything has slowed down because of epidemic, but as of today, as of March 1st, at the time of we are recording this and having this meeting, Ontario opened up. As of today, we don't need any more something called vaccine passports or proof of vaccine. We don't need to be aware. We have now full capacity of all the restaurants, and all of the activities are now open. So as of today, Ontario, where I am, is completely now open. Sports events, as many people can go into them as they want. But it doesn't mean that the government of Canada is working as fast as they did before pandemic. So yes, pandemic times impact processing time directly from government of Canada. So next question is, after I get a letter of support, should I go to Canada? So answer is no, you don't need to come here right away. You can put in a business plan that your plan is to come here in a year or 2 or 3 years, because you may, according to your business plan, need to divest of your properties or properly prepare yourself, or you may have other reasons. This is business-based migration, meaning the timing of when you apply or timing of when you're starting the business is completely up to you. So for those of you that want to be coming here to Canada faster, you will just apply to be here faster. For those of you that want to delay, you can delay it, because again, this is meant to be business migration, not family or work-based migration. So it is not as urgent in some of the cases, but for those cases that do want to come here urgently, yes, you are able to apply that way as well. So next question is, if I apply for start a visa, can my family come together with me? Great question. Answer is yes. So it is who is applying on a business visa or on a starter visa. It is a permanent residency. So your entire family is included. So spouse plus as many kids under the age of 22 are applicable. But for that, also speak to your immigration professional. They'll give you more detail. So meaning, if it's husband, wife, and 5 kids, all 5 kids under age of 22, all of them can be on one application. So you have a main applicant going through the starter visa as the program. One candidate, husband or wife, gets that letter of support, but the entire family is included. Next question. If I apply for work visa, should I start a business in Canada? So answer is, and I'll answer the first part first. If you are getting a work permit, that yes, you have to be active in your business, because that's what you are getting your work permit for. You have to start the company. You cannot ask for a work permit and not start a company. However, your spouse gets an open work permit, your spouse, wife, or husband, they can do whatever they want. So they can do whatever business or whatever job they want. So even so, you are strictly here to work in your business, and they are more open. So the next question is, after you get your PR, permanent residency, do your kids get the same advantage as Canadian kids when it comes to education? Excellent question. So any one of you that gets permanent residency, you have exact same rights as a citizen except for one. So you don't get the right to vote, but every other right to free medicine, cheaper education, free education for kids, free medicine for kids. So all of those advantages are applicable to you under permanent residency, under permanent residency. So next question is, which process requires CLB-5? So CLB, Canadian Language Benchmark, has an equivalency to IELTS, and they're very close in scoring. I believe, and again, check for yourself, that CLB level 5, according to IELTS, is 5.545 in IELTS. So in order for you to apply for permanent residency, you will need to score at least CLB level 5 or average level 5 on IELTS level. Next question. Can I apply together with my cousin as she owns a separate company? So there's two parts to that question. Can you apply together with your cousin? Answer is yes, you can apply as business partners. So as business partners, both of you can come under the same business umbrella. In fact, up to 5 partners can be in the same business. The second question in there, she has some health problems. So in that case, I wouldn't be partnering up with someone that may not be admissible, but it all depends what kind of health problems. So under Government of Canada, there is a definition, what is considered to be a health problem. And typically, if it is a communicable disease or an illness that Government of Canada has to spend more than $60,000 per year in helping you maintain your health. So depending on what the illness of the business partner, they may or may not qualify. Again, speak to your immigration agent, speak to your representative. They'll be able to dig down deeper into that question and answer whether your cousin's condition will prevent you or not. So next question is, how long do I need to run the business if I land to Canada, in Canada with work permit? The answer to that is, if you landed in Canada with work permit, while you are waiting for permanent residency, you have to work in the business for at least until you get your permanent residency. Because that, again, that work permit is there only with one reason, with one purpose, to make sure you keep working in that particular business. After you get your permanent residency, you have complete freedom of what you do with the business. The business is yours. You can scale it up. You can hire people, you can sell the business, you can close the business, do whatever you want with the business after you get your permanent residency, even though our hope that you're going to be successful in that business, because we're kind of involved. We're helping you to make sure that business matures and succeeds. I'm getting some people sending me thank you, so you are welcome on that. So the next question is, can children with working parents study in Canada for free? I'll get your immigration agent to answer that question because I'll need to dig down more information. Did you already get your PR? Are you here on work permit? How old are your kids? Are you talking about kindergarten, high school, or university? So there's more questions that I would have for the person that asked the question about kids before I can properly answer it. Let me see. Let me see if there's any more questions in here. So please put in more questions that I can answer. I have let's say a difficult question, almost not a politically correct question. It says, I am a housewife. Can I apply for startup visa? So what Government of Canada says about that, anyone can be an entrepreneur. You could be a housewife with no business experience, but you can come up with a great idea, with a great business, and started from scratch. There's a lot of great ideas done by kids out of universities, by housewives, as your question says. So meaning you can come from any background. You don't need to have higher educational background in order for you to succeed. So as long as you're bringing something that is innovative, you can apply under this program. All right, any more questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? Well, I think we are out of questions. We are, even though it's 10 minutes to go. So at this point, I will say, speak to your immigration professional, whoever has invited you to this meeting. They will answer more questions. They can book one-on-one time between you and I so we can answer your specific questions as well. So making sure that that you are properly protected, to make sure that you are properly taken care of, and to make sure that we are there helping you. So again, you are able to book a one-on-one time with us, ask your immigration agent to book it, so we are specific to your needs. This is a general information. This is not meant to be immigration advice. This is meant to help you understand and research further in what this field is all about. So I welcome you again to speak to your immigration agent and for you to proceed further with us. Again, thank you everyone for your time. I enjoy presenting. I enjoy answering your questions. So reach out to your immigration professional who has invited you here, and we can go forward from that. Again, thank you. Have a great evening.